Hello, and welcome back to the Dungeons & Dragons Podcast UK. My name is Yazmin, and I will be the DM.
Hi, my name's Samantha. I play Elora Greyvale, a sorcerer from Nephalia.
Hello, I'm Colin Robinson, and I play Cuin de Greymont, a paladin from Gavany.
Hi, I'm Ryan, and I play Ogvar, a ranger from Kessig.
A bizarre series of ridiculous rolls saw Cuin's challenger fail to get a grip on the situation, as slippery sorceress swiftly sidestepped a sticky situation, and Ogvar gracefully grappled with a wayward great club. Thankfully, this is not a euphemism. The Paladin became the proud victor, and the party received their payout. As we left in episode 23, the boys were about to battle a bit of a beastie. Episode 24. Never a boring moment.
This giant boar has an arched back as high as a human is tall. It has spiny armour on its head and back, great gleaming tusks, and small, furious, demonic eyes as it appears onto the stage.
Well, I say, didn't we trim one of these down the other day? This looks a bit more real.
Well, yes, I think so, but this one looks far more tasty.
Okay, right. I suppose we better get set.
Okay, and everyone can roll me initiatives.
I got a nat 20.
Right, okay.
Is there an initiative? Yes, it's going to be 15 for Ogvar.
Okay, so the order of battle is Cuin first, Ogvar, and then the boar last.
Elora's going to shout from the side and go, "Come on, Ogvar, you'll get more than a gold piece for this in the trotting trap."
Ogvar's just going to shake his head and just put his hand up. And...
Make me a wisdom roll, Elora. Just straight wisdom.
That'll be 12 minus 1. That's an 11.
As you look next to you, you see Stew. Big Stew.
Which stew?
Big
Big
stew.
stew that likes Kelsey.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, how you doing, Stew? Look, guys are in here.
Right.
He goes, "Oh, yes, yeah. Well, I'll be cheering for him."
Fantastic. Oh, by the way, Stew, I think I saw Kelsey over there.
He goes bright red.
Can I make a bluff check?
Yeah, make a bluff check. In fact, you don't even need to. It's just the mention of Kelsey's name is enough for him to bluff. Right, okay. So, as this boar's arrived, the entire arena has fallen silent. And you can... I mean, Elora, you're more likely to be looking in the outside of this, like the outside of the arena, because they're actually facing this. But everyone around the edges, like even in these stands, you can see everyone has stopped and they're leaning over to look at what's going on in the arena.
I'm going to glance up and look round, get a little disorientated, wobble a bit, and then look down again.
And you just hear Esther go, "Woo!"
Elora's going to raise a fist in the air and pump the air and go, "Yeah."
Okay.
So I'm going to charge.
Okay, go for it.
Just
Roll to hit with a +2.
21 plus 6. Oh, that's critical. 19.
No, it has to be. Oh, 19. Oh,
You
he's
landed
not
on
19.
I landed on the 19.
What are you hitting with?
My flail. 19 is a 19 or 20 plus 6 plus 2 for the charge.
Right, okay.
Oh,
You
shit.
charge up towards this boar. This boar, it's just been thrust into the arena, and it's kind of prancing on the spot. It's snorting, and it's looking really angry.
To confirm,
Roll again, yep.
I did a 15 plus 6, obviously plus 2, so that's another 20. That's 23, so that's confirmed.
He's just gone critical. Right, okay. So you charge up towards this deer. Roll your damage. This boar. Roll your damage.
So
It's mainly
that's
some more hit points.
7 plus 2 is 4 is 9. Double it is 18.
Okay. This arena is
Is
dead.
there a bucket nearby I can just sit on or something?
Like a ball to throw.
This arena is dead silent. I mean, you can hear a pin drop. Everyone's kind of waiting with bated breath as this dire boar is just there snorting and prancing on the spot. And the paladin, with apparently no fear whatsoever, is like, "What ho!" And he goes charging, and he takes his foot and he clouts it upside the jaw, and he does massive damage. One of its tusks splinters and falls off.
Charge! Ha!
Ah! From Elora.
The crowd kind of erupts. There's shocked gasps. There's all sorts. People are just going crazy in the crowd, and you just hear the 10 man, 10 man, 10 man as people start cheering and shouting and stomping and clapping. And this just enrages the boar even further. It stands there and it starts snorting. It's just received a massive blow, and it's just prancing on the spot, and you can see the breath and the steam puffing out of its nostrils. And where you're stood by it, Cumin, you can smell like the scent of like pig, basically.
Elora's getting jostled and she's looking around thinking, wow.
You just hear Esther from above going, "Smack him!" And it's your turn, Ogvar.
Okay, so Ogvar, being within 60 foot, can go for a rapid shot.
Yep.
2 attacks with a -2 penalty to hit.
Yep. Roll to hit.
Yeah, he's not going to hit the first one. That's going to be... Oh, hold on. It's going to be 12.
Not going to hit in the first one.
And that's going to be even less, so...
No. Both of your shots go kind of wide. And what you haven't noticed really before is where this kind of... this ring, where the shoreline is almost, where people are stood, as your arrows go to approach and hit the crowd, they suddenly dip down and fall into the water below. Like they've hit something and they've just fallen into the water below.
Elora cocks her head on one side, seeing this, and is like instantly intrigued.
You can make a knowledge arcana check.
That's an only 8.
You can tell it's some kind of force field and it's magical in origin, but you don't know anything else.
And Ogvar sees that as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And next up we have the boar. And it's going to go for... It's going to try and gore you. However, because it's got a missing tusk, it's only going to take a half of what it would get on its melee attack, because it's only got one tusk. And 23 to hit you.
Was that a nat 20?
No.
Oh.
That's with half of its plus as well. Yeah, so it's going to hit you, yeah?
Yes.
And you take... That's lucky. 9 points of damage.
9.
So this boar, being absolutely enraged by the strike you've just landed on it, it tosses its head and it sticks. It tries to gore you, and it just basically headbutts you. It doesn't really pierce your armour, but you hear horrendous screeching as it hits your armour. Okay, so then we're back to the top of the round and it's Cuin again.
Oh, right. That's another 19.
Confirm critical.
Is that with your mace again? Because
And
nobody...
is 17.
You've gone critical again.
Is that with your mace again?
The flail, yeah.
Flail, sorry.
Yeah. Roll your damage.
That's another 18.
Oh my god. Woo! Go Cuin!
I'm just going to turn around to Elora and go, "I'm here too."
Hold on. But
I know,
just to
I've
put
got-
this in context, he's hit me once and taken a third of my life. You know what I mean? So it's not like I can
No.
take...
Yeah. Okay, so you land this hit again, and the crowd once again goes wild. I mean, they are shouting, 10 man, 10 man, 10. They are loving this. They haven't seen this much damage done in ages, you could imagine. Right, and it's down round to Ogvar.
Okay, so Ogvar is going to move a little bit.
So you've moved what? 10, 15, 20.
Okay.
About 30 foot. Then.
Yeah, so still, and now that brings me into range for a point blank shot.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that.
Roll to hit.
18, yeah, that's going to hit, isn't it?
Yep.
18 plus a 6.
What's
Yeah.
your critical threat range?
It's going to be 20.
Okay. So yep, so that's going to hit.
Yeah, so that's
Roll your damage.
plus 1. That's be 5 points of damage.
Okay.
Woo! Well done, Ogvar!
Okay. So yeah, you shoot this arrow off, and it lands plumb. Where are you aiming for?
I was aiming for sort of like its flank, sort of its middle.
Yeah.
Middle.
Your arrow buries deep into the fletching, into this dire boar, and it squeals in pain. And the crowd, once again, they are going absolutely mad.
He's choking it.
He's choking on the ball.
You must be choking.
The crowd goes absolutely wild once again. The noise levels are ridiculous coming off of this. And we're back round to the dire boar. The dire boar, having just been struck by Ogvar, is going to attempt to charge you. So it gets a +2 on its hit. 17 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, so it comes charging over to you, and it goes to hit, and it's going to roll 9 points of damage.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
As it comes charging over and crashes into you.
What's it? So if he's... Oh. Ah, yes, great.
And he's also now flanked.
Yes. So
So it's back up to Cuin.
I'm going to charge.
Okay, so you get a +2 from flanking and a +2 from charge.
Okay. Ogvar! Hold on! That's 25,
What did you roll?
15.
Yeah, that
plus
hits.
2 plus 6.
That hits, yeah. Roll your damage. My poor piggy.
Ah, that's better. 6.
Okay.
6 points of damage. Laura's going to start up another Mexican wave.
Yeah, people, you don't need to make any rolls this time. People are just like fully on board with this Mexican wave thing. They love it. And, you know, they're shouting, Dear man, once again. And it comes down to your turn, Ogvar.
Okay, so
Disengage.
I'm going to have to do a total disengage because of the sheer amount of damage I just took.
Yep.
And I'm going to try and get myself as far away as possible. Maybe more towards Cuin. Can I do that? Can I go far?
What's that, 30 foot, is it?
From
30
there.
foot.
Oh yeah, so 5.
Oh, I'm actually here.
Oh, of course he is, yeah. I'm going to go back over this one. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, yeah.
Yep.
Hang on, can I just check? You can't go through. You can come out of a 5 foot space, but you can't move through another 5
Disengaging is
foot.
different.
Oh, it's different. Okay, it's
I
totally
can move slightly, I can move a different way.
No, it's fine.
It's fine.
Disengaging doesn't provoke attack of opportunity. That's the whole
Okay.
action.
Okay.
Okay, and that's the end of your turn. And the boar is going to... It's facing away from you at the moment, Cuin. It's going to turn around. It's going to attempt to gore you again. 14 to hit.
Nope.
Okay, so it turns around to gore you, and it kind of trips over its own feet, and it stumbles, and it doesn't manage to hit you. So back to the top of the round is your turn again.
I'm hit it. 16 plus 6 is 22.
Yeah, you hit. Do I even need to bother at this point? Roll your damage.
That's 7.
Describe it.
Right. As he turns round and tries to gore me, I take a step back, raise my flail above my head, and I'm going to go, take that, you beast! Whip! And I'm going to whip him right out down the side of his head and jaw, between his head and his jaw, just below the ear. You might
Right,
have to
yeah.
say.
You sink that flail into it, it buries deep, and you hear a crack as his skull fractures. And it falls to the ground dazed, and you can see blood kind of leaking out of its ears, and there's, as it falls, the arrow which Ogvar shot him within his flanks, he falls on it, and it just pierces even deeper, and you can assume that either the blunt force damage or the arrow kind of piercing into its body and into its organs has killed it. And it's dead. The crowd are going wild, they're screaming, Tin Man, Tin Man, Tin Man, Tin Man. And they're also screaming, Hunter! And they are going absolutely mad for the pair of you. You've just felled this beast.
Laura is she's turned around and she's getting really crushed, so she's actually decided to try and, because the crowd's just going so wild, she's going to end up injured at this rate, so she's kind of battering away, getting back out of the crowd.
Yeah. And that's it. Congratulations, you've defeated a dire boar.
You okay there, Ogvar?
Oh, just a little bruise and scrape, but should be okay.
Well done, young sir.
Yeah,
Do you need a hand?
So now I'm just going to walk straight across to him, and so that everyone's cheering. So I'm just going to grab his arm and just raise it up for everyone to cheer even more at him.
Are you standing on the boar as you do this?
No, Cuin's on the boar.
How long are your arms? Noodle arms.
Got him on. My bingo wing then.
And I'll go,
They love you, Colin. Cuin.
Who's Colin?
Yeah.
I'm going to go, have you found your arrows?
I think they might be in the boar you're standing on.
Oh, okay.
We can buy some more, don't worry.
Okay.
I'm going to shout from the back, although they won't hear me because the crowd's going so wild, and I'm just going to go, yeah, try shaving that one, Cuin.
Right, okay.
Okay, so we're going to
That's
go
it.
to get the winnings.
Yeah.
Right, so you two are still on the stage,
Okay.
celebrating. The crowd's going wild. You're getting your way out of the crowd. Okay, what would you like to do?
Oh, nice one there, Ogvar. I suppose we better go and see, get some winnings. What do you say?
Okay, sounds a good idea.
I think I can see Elora. I can see a hat over there.
Elora's going to wave.
Oh, there you are.
Wave above the
Elora.
I'm here, I'm coming. Hang on. Catch up with him. Oh, I tell you what, getting out of that crowd is no mean feat.
Well, that was trifle bothersome. Bit of a bore.
Oh no. Bloody well done, guys. That was really good. That thing was, well, porky.
That physically hurt me. That was bad.
Oh, sorry about that.
Sort of remind me of that bloke whose garden we trimmed. Breath's sort of like the same as well.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't find a tennis ball this time to throw.
I suppose we better go and get the the bet.
That sounds good to me.
Yes.
I'll let you guys go. I'll wait here. You guys go, because it's going
and
to
the
be...
winnings. Because the bet is
yes.
separate.
Okay, so as you're making your way out, Steward, wearing the yellow sash, comes up to you and goes, and he claps you on the back, Cuin, and he shakes Ogvar's hand and he goes, "Very well done there, excellently done. Here are your winnings," and he hands you a bag with 350 gold pieces.
Oh, thank you, young fellow.
Yes,
Yes.
it's
Thank you.
been a while since we've actually had a wild beast fight. People don't tend to attempt it that often.
Oh, yeah. We thought to give it a try. You know, you only live once. What?
He laughs with you. He goes, yeah. He says, it's been a while since we've had to raise the barriers around the stage as well. We don't use them for the normal fights. It's not worth it. But for the big ones with the beasts, we don't want them escaping, obviously. So yeah, it's been a while. Very well done, the two of you. It's
Thank you. Hopefully see you again. What do you say, Ogvar?
Why, not again tonight, I don't think.
Okay.
I think I need to sleep this one off.
Yeah, it's probably best.
He gives you a clap on the shoulder and he walks off to obviously carry on doing his duties.
So that's that. So we're going
to get the bets.
Okay, so you get up towards the bookie and he's like, he looks at you, he points and he goes, "Yep," he said. And he looks at the boy next to him and goes, Go on. And the boy goes over and he gives you 1,500 gold, which is your winnings.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, we're doing all right tonight, isn't it? Oh, that's coming out quite nicely. Yeah. Now, don't forget, if there's anything that you'd like to buy, we can always take it out the joint. Just I could make a little note, or something. What do you say?
Elora's going to step forward and tap Ogvar on the shoulder. Going to hold a hand out and shake his hand and say, "Well done, Ogvar. That was a nice hit with that arrow." And she's going to leave something in the palm of her hand.
Well, thank you. I think I would.
Pass his moon silver shard back.
I think I was merely an assistant in that fight, I think.
You know, all's one for all and all for one, so we say.
Hurrah!
You know, distractions, arms, you know, attacking, all like that. You know, we're all in this together.
And the result was achieved.
Yes, that's all that matters.
Well, you've won the crowd over.
Okay. What would you like to do now?
I think I'd like to go and get a bevy. I don't know anyone else.
Yes,
Should we go and find Esther, maybe?
yes. Yeah, go back and see how she's doing and if she's finished having a chat with her friend.
Yes, I could do with a sit down and a bit of a breather at the moment. Would be ideal.
Yes, I would imagine you can.
Okay, so you head back to Trip Tongue's bar, I take it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you see Estes in there, and as soon as she sees you, she jumps up, squeals, and she runs over and gives Cuin a massive hug.
Clang as she hits his armour.
I say, yes.
And then she turns around and she gives Ogvar a massive hug, and you one for posterity, basically.
Oh, well, thanks, Esther, but I've not really had a lot to do with it.
Well, that was absolutely amazing.
It was really, wasn't it? I was quite impressed with that myself.
You went wow, and she's swinging her hand around. She's like wow, imitating you with your flail, and she's overexcited.
Elora's smiling because she's looking at Esther's eyes twinkling, and she can see the excitement in the old woman, and just Elora gets little flashes of what things must have been, or how Esther must have been in her younger years.
Yep.
Yes, it was fun. Yes, I'm not much on the old swordplay. I'm more of a blunt object type of person. So, but we never know. Might try other things.
You're all getting a drink, yeah?
Yeah.
You all sit down at the bar and drinks come your way. There's no payment needed for that. You've put on the performance of the year, you could say.
Oh, thank you. That's gracious.
Trip Tongue just nods at you. So yeah, you sit down and you have a nice drink.
Yep,
Are
enjoying
we
that.
with Esther?
You're with Esther, yeah.
Okay.
She's blabbering on to Cuin. She's very excitedly talking about different like flailing techniques and you know, length of chain. What's the optimal length of chain and how many spikes you should have in your flail for ultimate brain bashing. And
I'm going to just keep darting at certain points of the conversation. I'll just keep darting glances with an amused look on my face at Ogvar.
Yeah, well, you know, I suppose really, you know, optimum chain, it depends on your length and what you want to do. But as for the top, I mean, obviously, it depends on the opponent. Because if it's very spiky and you're fighting someone in armour, then it might get caught, sort of thing. Whereas if you've got a sphere, you know, a ball that's got no appendages on it,
Cheers, Elora.
I
think we might be here for a few.
won't get caught. But then again,
Another round of drinks, please.
Yes, that's it. Yep,
I suppose if you've got the ball and you're against something that's quite smooth, it'll glance off. Whereas if it's got spikes, then perhaps it will catch more. So yeah, I suppose there's a bit more to think about it than I'd realised. Yes, I'd never thought of that.
Batteries in this world. Is there a way that you can turn them off or pull them out?
right, you're having well, Esther and Cuin are having this conversation, and you two are just sat there having a wonderful time, just minding your own business. When you hear, well, good morning to you, Esther.
I sort of look up from my glass, put it down.
As you turn around behind you, kind of near where Esther's standing, kind of like behind your bar stools where you sat at the bar, there is a relatively tall man. He has long blonde hair, and in his hand he has a glass of wine. And as she turns, she looks at him, she goes, "Oh, Riker, a pleasure to see you." as always.
Elora's going to raise one eyebrow because she's rather partial to men with long hair. So she's curious.
Right.
Is he good
Riker.
looking? Is he good looking? What's he look like?
He's relatively good looking. He's quite pale. He's got dark eyes, but he's got long blonde hair, and he's relatively well built. And he has a long sword by his on his hip. Oh God! Please stop! I don't need mental scarring.
Oh dear.
He looks at you, and he goes, "So, you're the one with the bat, then?"
Am I?
Well, I'd believe so, considering he did me. He caused me quite a bit of damage the other night.
How so?
He
She's got me doing it! Stop it! Stop it!
More Irish people is what we need in this.
He tilts his head to the side, and you can see a shadow of a massive bruise on his jaw, which is obviously fading. Well, yes. He does have he's quite a strong little fellow, isn't he?
Well, he's put on a few pounds recently, yeah.
Yes, well. And he turns his attention back to Esther. Yes. I think you know why I'm here, Esther. She looks at him, and she goes, yes, well, I'm sure word has already spread that I'm leaving you now.
I'm going to quickly look at Ogvar.
She goes, yes, sorry, I do intend to accompany you on your journey. It sounds quite thrilling, really. She says, but no, I am intending to leave you now. As you know, Riker, you should know you've been hanging around in my rafters of my church for long enough. He gives a grin. He smiles at her, and you can all make me a spot check.
Oh, Scott.
10.
That'll be a 6 all in from Elora.
12 all in from Ogvar.
And 10 all in.
Oh dear.
Anyone who's above 10, so Cuin and Ogvar, you both see the slightest glimpse of some pearly white fangs in his mouth.
I see, you've got a peculiar set of teeth there.
I would hope not. I am a vampire after all.
Oh, right. Oh.
Elora's diving for a drink again.
Yes, Esther. I do have to say that it will be a shame that you're going. But, as you know, the responsibilities of looking over you now will fall to your grandson. And he is untested. And she sits up a bit straighter and she turns around and she's got this kind of steely, cold glint to her gaze, which you haven't really seen from her before. She's always been kind of like the soft, nice grandmother figure. She goes, well, I shall declare now that I challenge you, Riker Stormcloak, to a duel. For the period of my absence, for you now to be unaffected by the Stormcloak clan in any negative manner. He gives her like a lazy grin, tips back the rest of his wine and goes, well, I agree. I'll see you in the arena, Esther. And as he leaves, he with his hand holding his glass, he kind of gives a mock salute with his glass. And he goes, Runo sends his regards.
Who?
Runo, he said.
Bruno.
She gets this kind of cold. You can tell just by looking at her that she's really quite annoyed at this.
And, what was all that about, Esther?
She sighs and she takes a deep swig of her ale. She goes, well, I'm sure I mentioned to you before that I was a midnight duelist.
Oh, yes.
Part of the responsibilities of a midnight duelist in Junau is to settle any disputes between the vampire clan of the Stormcloaks who preside over Junau, really. They are the clan for this area. I'm sure you may have seen their mansion as you approached from... Was it Gloomrest you approached from? I'm sure you might have seen their mansion as you
yes, we
arrived.
did see a rather large manor house, didn't we, Cuin?
Yes, we didn't go and investigate, because it wasn't really on our way. But
Yes, that would have probably been for the best.
Was that the one opposite that we could see from by the collapsing tips?
yes,
That way towards the coast.
It's the only one we saw, so it must be. But yes.
Yes,
So what's this jewel about then?
Well, as I will be leaving on my journeys with you, I have watched over Junau for many years, and I must confess that I do have some affiliation with the Stormcloaks themselves. I found over my many years that we have formed an amicable relationship, and the patriarch of the clan, Runo, he has a soul like mine in some respects. He does like to wander, and he isn't always within Nephalia. He traverses Innistrad in search of rarer stories and legends. He likes to learn about this world, and he has a deep investment in new discoveries, you could say. That gentleman there was Riker Stormcloak, one of Runo's most favoured protégés. Runo, I do like dear old Runo. He is good company, but in his absence, he always leaves someone to watch over the church with me. And in the past couple of years, it has been Riker, and he tends to roost in my rafters.
Just wondering, what interest would vampires have with the church?
The vampires have no interest with the church per se, but they conduct their business, they conduct their trade in Junau, and to keep an amicable relationship with them, it is necessary for someone to mediate, which is where my role as a midnight duelist came in. Junau is different to what you may expect, having been in Thraben, Cuin. Vampires are more tolerated around these parts, especially the Stormcloaks. They are a more noble clan. They have no interest in destruction. They are more civilised than Stensian vampires, you could say.
Why would a noble vampire be living in your belfry?
Well, as I said, Runo does. I do get on with Runo, and when he's not here, he leaves one of his clan to watch over the church and watch over me, so you could say, just to ensure that nothing untoward happens in his absence.
So he's a frequent visitor?
Yes, I do get on with old Runo quite well. But obviously, with me leaving,
No, I meant Riker. He's frequently in your belfry?
Yes, Riker. Yes, he tends to reside there as a bat. Says it's more comfortable than staying up there as a vampire in human form.
He wasn't in your room the other night, was he? I didn't waft him out with a tea tray.
No, I don't believe that was him.
Oh, okay.
But he did seem to imply that your bat might have done him a bit of damage. As me, that's quite amusing, you see.
Elora's just going to grin.
He probably deserved it. He can be quite impetuous. Riker can.
So he changes his form.
But yes, like all vampires.
Okay. Right.
With me,
I must say I prefer the blonde hair, but you know.
Yeah, yes. With me leaving Junau to travel with you, it leaves my grandson Florent in my stead. So should I not have a duel with Riker now, the influences of Stormcloak, the power may shift within Junau. So my having a duel with Riker at this moment will ensure that no harm will come to my grandson and no harm will come to Junau. Eventually, Florent must step up and, take the helm and stand up for himself. But as he's only new, I can buy him at least a couple years reprieve from the full responsibilities.
So how often do you have to actually have a duel with these? I mean,
Not very often at all. There were more duels back in the day, but it was mostly testing me out, so to say, and I proved myself then, and I must prove myself now to secure my grandson's place here.
So, how and where does this take place?
Well, and she chucks her drink back and she stands up. Now, as she
Now?
walks
Here?
downstairs. Yeah.
Wow.
Are you going to be all right? Do you need any backup, or is it just a one-on-one?
She smiles over her shoulder at you, turns around, pats your cheek and goes, "Don't you worry now, dearie. I have this," and she pulls her sword out. And she starts humming and happily wanders off downstairs.
I look at the other two and say, well, she seems very self-assured. This will be interesting.
Yes, it's been nice to watch somebody else.
I don't think this is something that we should actually get involved with.
Yeah.
So, I just think that we could perhaps learn from this.
Yes.
Interesting. This
Or
is
maybe profit.
Oh. Well, perhaps we should afford her the same. It would be rude not to afford her the same courtesy, wouldn't it, really, Ogvar?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I suppose we better put a small wager on, I suppose.
Elora's going to lift her cup. Lift her glass and finish up.
Yep.
And push the chair back, stand up, and I think we should move out and head downstairs. What do you think?
Yes, it's find a good spot. I don't want to miss this one.
Yes, how much do you reckon we should? I suppose we better go and ask for the odds, shall we say?
That will be interesting to see.
Yes, I mean, okay.
I don't suppose that this is a regular thing.
Well, no. Well, I wouldn't have thought so.
Well, this will be a notable night for everyone, won't it?
Yes. So, we'll go and ask. What are the odds here?
We're going downstairs first.
Yeah.
Go
So you
across the
go
bridges
downstairs and you find the nearest bookie, who's a different one to the time before. You ask him what the odds are, and he turns around and he goes, "Tough one, this one." He said, "I can only do 1 to 2."
Yeah.
And what time is this taking place?
Well,
Yeah.
no.
I thought she was going
As-
to say midnight then.
No, actually,
Yeah.
that would be cheesy. That would be cheesy. As you're saying this to the bookie, the fight on the stage ends, and you see a very familiar figure standing in the middle. It's Riker, and he turns towards the large platform which is on its own in the wall, and it's shrouded in black chiffon. This is the one where when you came in, you looked at the wall opposite, and there was just a single platform on its own, nothing around it.
Who runs the
Yeah,
thing is
the entire thing is shrouded in black fabric, so you can't see through it, but you can imagine the person inside can see out.
Mhm.
And he stood there. He's still got his glass of wine in his hand, and he bows deeply, arms sweeping down. He bows towards the box, and he goes, "With your permission, I challenge Esterides to a duel regarding the political powers within Junau."
Ogvar just goes, boo!
I say, you know.
You can see from where you are a slight smile crosses Riker's face,
Elora's going to say nothing.
but
at this
he
point.
stands back up to his full height, and the glass in his hand, he just chucks it over to the one side. He doesn't care about that anymore. He just chucks it, and you hear it shatter, and that's the only real noise you get at this moment, apart from the rushing of water.
So everybody's silent.
Everyone is silent at this. This is a serious thing. And all of a sudden, there's no word from the master of this place, but all of a sudden, all of the stewards, all of the bookie, all of the guards and the runners, everyone who works the arena, they immediately start clearing the floor, clearing the podium, making sure everyone is out of the way. And in the middle of the stage, there stands Riker. And bobbing away through the crowd, Esther joins him on the stage.
Yeah, so how much would you... well, we have 2,394 gold. We could how about 394 gold?
Yeah, I wouldn't go any more than that because I don't know.
And you hear,
this
as you're talking, as you're trying to decide, there is the slightest ruffle, the slightest sound of like rustling fabric, and you hear a voice go, "No bets," and like that,
put it back in your pocket.
all of the betting shops close up.
Oh, I say.
Right.
Okay.
And all the bookies, they step off their boxes, they grab their boys, their girls, their assistants, they pack up shop and they disappear.
Well, I suppose we best just watch.
Just to cheer her on.
I'm not sure that this might be a cheering event.
Well, we're there to support.
Yeah.
So, as you all stood there, Esther's on the stage facing Riker. She stands there in a loose posture, sword by her side, but in contrast, Riker is stood there extremely alert. He's drawn his blade and he's standing there extremely alert in a defensive posture already. There's no klaxon.
What sort of blade is that? A sword?
It's a long sword.
It's a long sword, okay.
And without any sort of warning, no klaxon, no sound, the fight starts. And you all stand there watching as you lose sight of both Esther and Riker, and they disappear into blurs of colour. And you can hear the constant shing-ting of blade meeting blade. And this is all you see for the next couple of minutes, just a mad rush as they're facing off against each other, they're striking blows against each other's swords. You hear the occasional swish of a blade through air as it misses.
But their forms are blurred.
But you can bear you're tracking them with your eyes, but they're just moving at such an incredible rate, and it's so fast paced. And before you know it, this whole crowd, they've gone into uproar. They're cheering. This is a fight of a century. I mean, they've had people who've come here tonight. They've had the night of their lives. They've seen some truly amazing sights tonight. And as Esther and Riker fight, it doesn't take particularly long for the fight to come to its conclusion. But as the dust kind of settles, where they've kicked up dust as they're continuously moving and dancing around each other, you end up seeing Riker without his sword being planted into the stonework a short ways away. It's actually being buried into the stonework. Not very far, but it's in the stonework. And you see him on his back with Esther with her sword at the tip of his throat. And he's got cuts on him, and she's got cuts on her as well. She's got cuts on her face, and they're oozing a bit of blood. And you can see they've probably done as much damage to each other as, they've probably done about the same amounts of damage. But she has got Riker down and with her sword at his throat.
No, I'm just going to stay motionless watching this because...
What's the crowd's reaction?
The crowd are absolutely... They are cheering. They are, Esther is the thing of legends around here. Her presence dulled when she, she retired from being a midnight duelist and she took a step back to look after the church. But for the older people around here, and some of the people who look like they've been partying in the underground arena for years and years and years, they are howling because, this is Esther, similar to when she was in her prime. For them, this is a sight to behold. They've probably seen her fighting before. And it's something they don't get to see very often now.
That was something a totally different level to what I've ever seen. I mean, to coin a phrase there, strength.
Elora just cracks a slight smile at that. Well, I don't know what to make of that. Clearly she's just displayed what she's capable of.
They're both heaving. You can see their chests heaving up and down from the exertion, and you can see sweat beading and rolling down their faces even from when you are, you can see the slight drops in the shine of reflected light. And from where Riker is on the floor, he lifts a finger and he pushes the sword away from his neck. He goes, "So, Esther, it seems like our duel is over. Now, we shall abide to our terms." And he pulls himself off the floor, and he holds his hand out, and they shake hands, and she pulls him in for a hug. She pats him on the back. She goes, "Well, you're about 100 years too early to take me on, aren't you, Riker, now?" She smiles and she turns around and she leaves him just standing on his own on the platform. And he pulls his sword out, and like that, he disappears. And you see a small bat fly off out of the hole in the ceiling. As he flies off, you can all make me a spot check.
Spot.
11.
That's a 12 from all in.
21 all in for Ogvar.
Right, yeah, you can all see, as he goes to fly out of the hole in the ceiling, he collides with another black dot coming in. At that point, there is a lot of loud squeaking as your bat has the final blow and then flies back towards you.
I'm just going to hold my hand out.
Yeah, he lands on your hand, hangs from your finger, and just kind of squeaks and flaps a bit.
I'm going to turn my hand in towards me,
As you look at him, he's got a bit of tuft of fur in his mouth.
and I'm going to lean forwards, and I'm just going to take the tuft off him and say, "Leave it." Oh, that was Irish. Oh, I hate you for this.
This is fantastic.
It's like fucking comedy, isn't it? Struth. She's going to be sure, and I'm like, "Struth, leave it. Take it out of your mouth." So I've taken it out of his mouth. It's still dodge on it.
Very,
It was very...
very suspicious.
Hang on, I've got to get this right.
Struth.
So I'm going to turn it to myself. "Oh, Rowan."
How did it sound that bad that time?
Good day,
Sure.
Rowan.
G'day, Rowan. How's it going? So, okay, Rowan, let's have that out of your mouth, mate. So I take the tuft and I'm going to just sort of move my thumb and my forefinger together and like just sprinkle it onto the floor, and then I'm going to look at him and say, "Well, I have a bit more of a clue as to what you've been up to." Open my cloak and say, "That's enough for one night, mate," and put him back into the cloak onto his hanger and just...
And I'm going to... Riker doesn't seem to be having a very good night, does he? I mean, first of all, you give him a thrashing in the old arena, and then he just gets, batted out the way again.
Esther does chuckle at that. She chuckles. She goes, "Yes, well, he's, Riker's alright. He can be a bit impetuous at times, but he's not too bad." She goes, "Well," she claps her hands, she goes, "Well, I think that's enough excitement for the evening for all of us.
Esther, can I ask you a question?
Yes?
Can I ask you, how old is Riker? Because it's very difficult to tell with him being what he is."
She looks at you, she goes, I never really considered that.
Alright, okay.
I know for certain he is a younger vampire, but how old younger is, I don't precisely know."
Okay, I'm going to look at Ogvar, raise an eyebrow. Look at Cuin.
She says, "Yes, well, I do suggest that we head back for the night. It's been quite a lot of excitement, and I don't think there'll be really much more going on tonight after all of that."
No, you're probably right.
Yeah, shall we go back to the church or to the...
Well, we could go to the guild or
the guild, yes.
You have got rented rooms at the guild.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. What about you, Esther? You coming along, or are you going to the church to say your goodbyes and cover your things?
She smiles. She says, I've already said my goodbyes. I've already got everything I need, so I shall probably stay at the guild for the night."
Okay,
Okay.
Okay. So she leads you back up through the winding sewers. She takes you back out into the night air. She leads you back towards the guild. get to the guild and she goes, she books herself a night in. She herself presents a card at the guild when she's booking in. Her card is black.
I'm just going to clock that, make a mental note of it.
Yep.
Say nothing.
They treat her with the respect you could probably say she deserves. And she goes, well, I'll see you in the morning then.
Yeah,
It's been a wonderful evening. Thank you for inviting me out.
Good night, Esther. It's
Yes,
been
good
a pleasure.
night.
Thank you very much. We had a nice time.
Yes, thank you for showing us around, and we shall see you in the morning.
Yes, see you in the morning. A most entertaining night.
Yeah.
She smiles at you and she goes, well, don't let the bed bugs bite. And she disappears upstairs.
Are you okay, Orland, there?
Oh, yes, sorry. I lift up the side of my armour just to reveal Orland.
I could have got hurt. It was great.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry.
Bosh that pig.
Yes, you know. He got us a couple of good ones, you know.
Orland, do you know anything about these storm cloaks?
No, not really.
Fine. Worth asking.
Okay, so
They wear cloaks.
Oh, well done.
Ah,
Right.
Turn into the night, or?
Yeah, you
tune
can
in for
take
the
him
night.
for
Have
company.
It's up to you, do you?
No, you take him for company. It's cool.
I'm upstairs with my man bag then.
oi, not a man bag.
Sorry, Orland.
Okay, so we're gonna go and get some kip.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's about right for me. It's been a long day.
Okay.
You don't snore, do you, Orland?
I don't know. I might. Do you still?
Most probably. It's all in the sinuses.
Right, okay, so you all go upstairs and you'll settle in for the night. I take it you're cleaning your armour and sorting your armour out, fixing it up. Not putting wax on it this time. Anyone else doing anything?
No, not especially. Not tonight.
Yes. Is there still someone who I could refill my spent arrows for, because they're still in the ball? Can I buy some arrows before I go to bed, or is the shop closed?
Shops are all closed at
Okay,
this time of
no
night,
worries.
but you'll be able to get some in the morning.
Okay.
You could imagine. Okay, so yeah.
With the creature crushed, the team retired for a well-earned tankard of their favourite tipple, and got a glimpse into the intricacies of Drenau diplomacy. Esther rose to her responsibilities of a traditional trial and ultimately triumphed, unfazed by her fanged foe.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Having you as a listener means everything to us. So, whichever streaming service you choose to listen to us with, please give us a like, subscribe and follow. We would love for you to join us on our Facebook or Twitter page, where you can catch up with all of our latest news. While you're waiting for the next episode of Secrets of the Silver City, why not pop over to our website, where you can read all of the information about this campaign, from backstories to setting. All of the links are in the bio of this episode. Join us again next week for the next instalment. Thank you for listening.